And we're back. This is Dr. Dance Mom, and I'm with my daughter, Sarah Sloan. She is what we call high school dance team.
Drill team.
Drill team. Okay, that's what most people know, drill team. So maybe let's talk about that, because a lot of people don't know the different types of dance that are out there.
Yeah, so within the dance realm, it definitely varies. You have your studio dancers, which is mostly either competitive or just class-based. Then you have your middle school dancers, which is just your middle school dance team, drill team, and they both fall under that drill team realm.
Like Soren's on...
Soren, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Soren's on middle school drill team or dance team, whatever you want to call it. They're not really that kind of advanced where you get to call them like a drill team, dance team. It kind of just blends together. But then you get to high school, and that's your drill team hardcore, where they do studio, basically. The competition from studio, but also that football, basketball, other high school elements that are specific to school dance.
Like kick lines.
Mm-hmm. That's your field dancers, girls in the stands with palms. That's when you really get into drill team.
So what about college, like HBCU?
Well, then you have majorette, which is definitely that HBCU feel of...
For those of you who don't know, that's historically black colleges and universities.
Exactly.
So it's a different feel.
It is a different feel, because if you look at PWIs, which are predominantly white institutions, they have your Colgate dance team, which is very technically trained. But when you go over and look at HBCU dance teams, that's your majorette, where they still have some technical aspects and technically trained dancers.
But it's very cultural.
Very cultural to the black community, for sure.
I love that. Okay. So this is sort of ending towards the end of the year, and so tonight what's going on is your spring show.
My spring show, which is my very first one, because I'm a sophomore, and last year, because of Corona, I didn't get to have a spring show or end of the year concert, show, performance, whatever you want to call it. But tonight is the first time ever, and it actually hasn't sunken in yet that I'll be performing in like 4 hours from right now when we're recording this, but it's the next 3 nights, back to back to back.
Yeah. So it's almost really the first major thing that we've had as dance mom and daughters that's a sense of normalcy after COVID-19 has hit. So we're going to take a break right here, and you're listening to the Black Dr. Dance Mom, and I'm interviewing my daughter Sarah about her experience in high school drill team. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. So, Sarah, you and Soren did a lot of studio dancing. And so, which one do you think you really enjoyed more?
I don't know. I mean, I've been so accustomed to doing drill team for so long that at this point, I don't know. Like, honestly, studio dance is just a whole other world. Like, it definitely gives you that going to the studio, dancing till 10 o'clock, and then driving home and having to go to school the next day. But with drill team, I'm already at practice. Like, I go to school, dance, do more school, dance some more, go home, and then do more school. Like, it's kind of just a cycle at this point. And I honestly don't know. It's been so long since I've been in studio that I feel like drill team just become more of my style. And that team feel of like girls that you're with the whole year. Because studio, you have your summer classes and then you have your team prep for competition. But like drill team, you're with them all year. You're with them in the summer because you have camp. You're with them in the fall because that's football. You have class together with all those girls, and then you have competition, and now we have our spring show. So it's like, it's definitely more of that like sisterhood bonding. Okay. That's different from a high school and studio feel.
That's a good point, though. So, like, what a lot of people don't know is that with competition, like our studio dancing, the real dance moms, like what you guys are probably accustomed to seeing on television. it is
That's
definitely
really what it is.
It's a competition level even amongst the parents, like because you of course want to see your daughter excel, and so it can be very a lot of involvement. Not that the high school level isn't. I mean, the Booster Club is no joke, you guys. That and money fundraising is always on some level or another. So I think it's still very, very major as far as money goes. There's always money involvement,
competitiveness amongst parents,
amongst the parents and the kid and the girls. Yeah. So you just recently went through somewhat of a traumatic thing that was with this whole officer. So at the end of after the tryouts are over, you do another tryout specifically for officers.
Right. So this is like, I've never done this before, but it's the first year that they've done this, where they have the team tryout and the officer tryout in the same week. But since I'm already a 2-year member, I love our director. She was able to just let all of us 2-3-year members walk right back on. So I didn't have to retry out for the team just to be an officer. So that was its own tryout where I had to learn the dance, learn the kick routine, as well as do an interview and do a solo this year that I had to pay for and compete with, where you had to pay for.
I had to pay for it, yeah. There's that money thing again. So it's competition, and then there's more competition to even get into the leadership, the officer role or the leadership roles.
It's crazy.
It's crazy competition. Yeah. It really is. So we had the first parent meeting of the year, and I was a little reluctant because we walked into a room full of parents, moms and dads, and most people are wearing masks, but in Texas, it's not necessarily required. They're asking people to wear masks, but you had some that didn't. Yeah. And the room was tight. And so I'm still very conscious as a doctor of COVID and how that is affecting my kids and this competition. And now you guys doing camps this summer. How many camps are you guys doing?
I have one for drill team and then one with Soren.
Okay, so that whole thing of kids not being vaccinated is
scary.
It's scary because we know variants are out there and that kind of stuff. So I just ask parents to be cognizant of your kids still possibly wearing a mask where they can, because kids can still be carriers even though they may not get the symptoms as bad.
And the thing about the camp we're going to with Soren, or that I'm going to with Soren, it's outdoors, which is really nice because I'm only indoors when I'm showering, I'm sleeping, or I'm eating. And even when we do eat, we're really spaced out with tables because there is so many. So they have to kind of space us out.
Yeah, I don't think it's still a must because psychologically you guys needed it. I mean, dance was a release for you guys. And then to not be able to do that was like...
It was hard. Like quarantine last year, just thinking back on it, like quarantine for me was really therapeutic because I was in such a stressful place with dance going on. We were approaching our spring show from last year before... Yep. COVID hit and everything got canceled. But when we did go to camp, it was kind of scary because you had already prepped us being like, wear your mask, do this, da. But we hadn't had any normalcy. Like, we've been stuck in the house for going on 4 months and hadn't seen any friends, nothing. No real social interaction other than our family.
No traveling, no nothing.
So when we were told, like, you didn't have to wear a mask, and me and Soren walked in to all these kids who we've known for years not wearing masks, it was kind of just felt comfortable, which is weird to say now that mask feels so normal that we just took it right off. Okay. That just kind of blows my mind that I walked around during July when it was a peak without a mask on.
But you were outside, like you said.
I was outside a lot of the time, sweating, but I was outside.
So we're going to take one more break here, and we're going to close out this session with my daughter, Sarah. We'll be right back with the Black Dance Mom. All right, and we're back. So, we're closing this session, Sarah, today with sort of like, it's almost like a new beginning because, with your spring show, you're closing out your sophomore year, but at the same time, it's like the beginning of a new season, sort of post-COVID, or I should say during COVID. We're still in COVID.
We're definitely still in.
But you got some sense of normalcy now of having a spring show, going to be planning to go to the camp and being back on the field performing and that kind of stuff, and then on stage performing. So what would you recommend to other people about, moving forward this year?
Moving forward, definitely just, stay focused. I think definitely with school and COVID and everything, me being virtual, switching to in-person, like it was just definitely a lot all at once. And for me to balance dance at the same time, it was very overwhelming. And I remember during football season, I just was in a really dark place of just being overwhelmed and overworked and stressed. So I think to girls who are thinking about joining their dance team or will be on their drill team or competition studio, whatever you're going to be on, have your eyes on the prize. Hopefully you want to go to college, so grades are still a very important thing, but have fun with it. I think this year was so stressful and just a weird year with COVID that we forgot to have fun. And so I was even in class earlier in Spanish, literally taking notes, and our director sent us a message basically telling us just to have fun tonight and this weekend, and telling us that no matter what, we've worked so hard and that she's proud of us. And I think that's a really good message to just end on.
I love that. So I think having fun and being safe. For sure, with COVID still lingering. And also, enjoying that moment of being a dancer, getting back to some normalcy, and enjoying your high school drill team. Yeah, I love it. All right, well, this is Dr. Dance Mom and Sarah.
Bye, guys.
Tune in for our next episode, and we will possibly have Soren and Sarah on for that episode. I know, right? Get the two of them together. Their schedule is busier than mine, you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day.